Assalamu alaikum. Now, sewing something like this can be full of tension, and this suit has really given me a lot of tension, and I tell you, it's beautiful to look at, but is it worth the headache? Sometimes there's a wonderful Asian saying that ek na or so suk. If you say no the once, you're 100 times better off and at ease. And you know what, I found that to be so true, because I kept this, and the amount of tension that it's caused me, it was just not worth it. Now there's another few points to bear in mind when you, especially if you're sewing for someone, and or someone's made a request and you go all out and do something extravagant, then there's lots of things to bear in mind before doing something like this. It's very easy for a customer to come up to a tailor and say, you know what, make me, just give them something and say, right, you know what, make me something extraordinary. Now I feel, I had a lot of stuff sewn from tailors myself, and I appreciated their work a lot more when I did something like this. So they have to deal with it all the time, and they've got awkward customers coming in making exceptional demands, and obviously they do it for a slightly different reason to what I do it. I do it, one, for enjoyment, and two, for teaching purposes, whereas they do it for a living, so maybe they're obligated to fulfill. Now they do have a couple of edges over us, where they have in their locality a lot of the stuff that we find very difficult to obtain. So they can match up the laces and the brocades and the banarsis and so on a lot more easier than what we can. But anyway, having said that, the difficulties that I faced when I got left with this fabric was design something extraordinary. Now I think I've done the best to my ability, because with something that's predetermined and it's got a pattern in itself, you're restricted to what you can do with it. Basically this dress was meant for a straightforward dress. They wanted a gown made out of it, so I have made a gown. I used the front piece of the dress to make the front panels, and then the back, the dupatta, and the, I've done that with the dupatta and the plain back fabric piece. I used that for this. I took off the excess of the front, what was left over, and then I redesigned it, and I made it go all the way in the opposite direction, so that it adds extension and length to the dress as well, because this dress was not coming out the length that was required, because the fabric was only so much. In addition to that, I added brocade and also added some lace. So created borders, made an open shirt where I've piped it all the way through, and then I've put a closing fabric underneath this, and I've put buttons, the round bobble sequence type of buttons, and then done a grandad collar with the lace of that I've used on the trim. Also used the brocade on the sleeves, and now, I mean, even things like putting buttons on sleeves and stuff like that, it's all very time consuming, and it all adds up to the cost. Now what has this cost me? Well, the laces and all the Banarsi brocades and so on are add-ons that have amounted to approximately £22. I had to get lining, and now to add something like that onto the suit, you've got an add-on. The suit was probably about 2,500 rupees or 2,000 rupees from Pakistan. That's what generally these suits are priced at. Now, one of the disappointing facts about the suit is it has this glue, and then add blobs of glue added on, and big massive diamantes added onto the glue, and the glue itself looks absolutely disgusting. It's massive blobs. But anyway, that's nothing to do with me. Apart from that, I've done as much as I could. Now this suit has ended up costing, probably cost the sewing itself is about £35 on something like this, and there's a lot of work. One, it's all beaded, and sewing this type of work you have to be extra cautious. So that's one of the reasons why I say one no would have meant I would have been a lot at ease. Is the customer going to be happy with paying another additional £60 on top of, I mean, the outfits cost probably in the region of I don't know, £75-80 to the customer. Ultimately, whether she can carry it off, what it looks like when she's got it on, I have no idea. That's another thing that sometimes you put the effort in, you might end up making something and it might not suit, and that's one of the things with comparisons when you make with ready-mades, because you could probably get £70-80, you can get quite a flashy ready-made outfit as well. So is it worth putting all the effort? I mean, personally, if you're doing it for yourself, then it's well worth it. But if a customer is requesting it, then is the customer going to be happy paying like £60-70? And I see a lot of the Asian customers, and they tend to shy away when you mention the price of what it's cost. They don't want to think about the effort that you've put in. So if you're a tailor, that's a sound advice, that be very careful. Saying the no once will save you a lot of hassle, and if I was given the choice of doing this all over again, I would love to have said, you know what, no, I'm not going to do it, because that would have meant that this 2 years of tension that I had, I've got to sew this. Finally, yes, it's done, and I hope she likes it. But there is still that niggling feeling that, you know what, for that price, is she going to be happy? It's not my fault. I've done my, the add-ons. You couldn't make this into anything, Anyway, that's, so I've finished this off with trim on the Banarsi trim on the dupatta, because obviously you needed to have this finished. And then I've made straight pants that I've just got to hand turn, and that's hopefully end of the 2-year story. What a relief. Anyway, that's a relief. Now I'm going to share another one with you, which is exactly the same dilemma. And I don't know what people are thinking. I mean, these suits, this one is one that I made last year for this girl. She had gone out and purchased these beaded suits, I don't know, in sort of like bulk, and now she doesn't want to wear them what they were originally created like. Originally, this didn't have any red, it was just the cream that was attached to this, and I had to pull it apart and make it, and she's very, very tall, so I had to do some changes to it where, I had to extend the length as well. Now, this one is going back to last year, and I did this for her last year. Again, this year, she's got the exact same suit, because, as I said, she probably went out and bought them in bulk. She's got the exact same thing, but in the pink. And now she wants the same thing doing with the pink, but make it wow, wow, wow. How do you make it wow, 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 when, it's already predetermined that this is what it's supposed to look like? Now, the original suit has had the cream underneath it. I've taken the cream off because I am going to have to extend the length and add some color to this. Now, you know what, I've been going crazy because it's got like a creamy effect in. There's not many laces and stuff. If it's got gold in it, you can find so much that has the gold that goes with it, but the creamy effect and another color is quite hard to get. So I've been racking my brain, going around looking for stuff that I can blend with this to give it the wow, wow, wow effect. All I managed to locate is this pink lace, which has a hint of blue. So I thought if I add the pink and the blue, that might just give it the wow. And then these are the original ones that have come off. And basically I've chosen this lace to probably finish it off at the bottom. So add some color to it. We'll have to wait and see what does end up coming out from this concoction. Again, this is another one that I would like to say, you know what, stick to something which is simple. I remember going to the tailors and they were telling me that their life has made a lot easier since photos have come about, and you know, all these designer suits. People just bring the image and they say, can you make, you know, exactly like this? So they know exactly what they're following. They can mix and match quite easily, and they just follow the photo. Now when you're asked to create out of your own imagination, that's even harder. That is ultimately the job of a designer, not of a seamstress. So here goes, see what this turns out like.